You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, next.
Welcome, everybody, to Black Hollywood Live Next. We are joined, I am your host, Ebony K. Williams, also hosted with Jason Carter.
Hey, Ebony.
Hey, Jason Carter, how are you? And then we've got Nick Perdue here as well.
Right.
And we're excited because we're joined in studio by a soap, this heartthrob, Mr. Redaric Williams. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
So we're going to get right into it. And, we're going to just ask the obvious question first, Redaric.
What's the obvious?
The obvious question. You nervous? So we're looking at you, and for our viewers that can see, obviously, your look, it's unfortunate. And how do you get work?
That's obvious.
I'm kidding. That's obviously a joke. This man is gorgeous.
I was trying to
everyone.
find an answer for that.
He was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Well.
Where is my publicist? What am I saying?
It's back there somewhere.
No, that's awesome. But
You're so funny. I'm so sorry. I mean, that was like full on crazy. No, right, but you are a twin. We were reading that you are a
Yes.
twin, and you have a fraternal twin sister. I'm a twin as well. We're a twin brother.
Oh, yeah, twin brother.
Yeah,
Fraternal or identical?
Fraternal.
Oh, okay.
So weird. But was your sister also bitten by the acting bug?
No, not at all. My sister is, she's an attorney. She's a lawyer.
Oh.
Yeah.
And for a
yeah.
small retainer, she'll be
And
more.
for a small
Yeah.
Who that about those
She's
retainers?
probably the smartest person I know. She's just a genius. Yeah, just star student from elementary all the way on. Then she went to law school. She worked corporate law for a quick little stint, and now she's actually working for the public defender's office in D.C. So
wow.
she's doing her thing. I'm very, very proud. Yeah.
Well, you grew up in Detroit as one of 8 kids. 8 kids.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of us.
So what did you guys
Yeah.
fight over as kids?
I mean, the typical stuff: toys, food, anything.
Anything?
I mean,
Attention? Anything?
Nah, I don't think it was attention. We pretty much, kept ourselves entertained. As far as attention goes, it was like just a whole,
Right.
yeah, it was never that. But
Now, are you the only thespian in the family?
I am. I wouldn't say by nature. I would say by career. Yes. Yeah, I'm the only one that pursued it to make money. But I think we're all thespians at heart. Yeah.
At heart, yeah.
Right,
Behind
right.
closed doors.
Well,
Yeah.
talking about what you pursued, we know that you are also a talented athlete, and that during high school and college you went to University of North Texas
I did.
on a
Yes.
football scholarship, and you ran track, and you were awesome. What was it like balancing your acting passion with working as a student athlete?
I didn't really balance because I was not pursuing anything for acting until the sports ended. I'm a person who I'm pretty pretty much I give like a lot of attention and a lot of my focus. I would say all of it in one area at one time. I'm not really a multitasker.
Got
So when I was playing sports, I was really playing sports. It was
Awesome.
eat, sleep, breathe. Everything was about that. I was actually literally trying to have a career in that direction.
Wow.
So when that kind of ended, the wheels fell off on that, I would say, for lack of a better term. That's when I kind of did some soul searching. I was like, what do I want to do? What's the next chapter of my
Right.
life going to be? And I always had kind of an affinity for acting. I was, as a kid, I did a little bit of acting, and I got the bug back then. But it was something that was always in the backdrop because I was recognizably good at sports at a young age, and a lot of people
Right.
were pushing me in that direction, and it felt, very. It was the path of least resistance. It was momentum going in that direction. So
felt
naturally,
natural.
so I just
Got
went
it.
that way. But so I kind of was looking around like, what do I want to do? Because I was like, I want to do something that I really, really want to do. Because I know that also if you're picking a career, it makes no sense to do something for any other reason other than the fact that you just absolutely love to do it.
Absolutely.
So when I realized, I was like, it's acting. That's the direction I went in. So from there, I moved to New York. I was like, New York, LA, New York, LA. Went to New York, And it all started from there. But then I ended up in LA, so I'm here now.
Well, we are totally thrilled that you did pursue the acting. I mean, it's fascinating to watch you. But are there any skills that you learned on the football field, on the track field, that you apply to your acting?
Yeah, I would. Well, this is the thing. It's kind of like someone who does music that's in the music business. It's not music business, it's business music. So it's the same thing with acting. It's business first, acting second. So I wouldn't say so much the acting element of it, but as far as if you want to take it serious for a career, the business aspect of it, football
Certainly.
definitely helped out as far as like showing up not on time early. You know, it's just like things like that.
Discipline,
Just be
yeah.
discipline. You know, you just it's like there's a something that comes along with organized sports. It's like I don't know if it's similar to like being in the military. You get like a militant kind of thing going on. So it's very effective when you apply that to like a business, you know, practice. And if you're looking to get into acting and to get in the entertainment business, understand it's business first always. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You seem
become
incredibly
disciplined.
focused, and I would
Oh, very
pick up
much so.
that that focus probably stems from your, athletic
Yeah,
background.
very much
That's
so.
excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's exciting. Now, here's a question because football is very competitive, right?
is,
and
yeah.
and as you know, acting is probably just as competitive, not more competitive. So, like, have you used any like football psyche during auditions? To kind of
No, because the thing that I loved the most about football was that it was like any other sport. There's a camaraderie that comes along with it. Because I played a lot of sports growing up. I played every sport under the sun. I mean, from the time I was knee high to a grasshopper, and football was one that I really developed. I mean, there was a passion there because it's something that, like, if you look at football in itself, there's, I mean, you got kickers, you got, guys who throw the ball, guys who catch the ball, guys who run, guys who push and block. Wherever you get in, you fit in, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like, if you look at, not to like denote any other sport, but like, I don't want to say basketball or anything, but everyone kind of, for the most part, does similar things, but
Yeah.
football, it's a lot of different people working together to achieve the same goal. So there's a camaraderie that comes along with that. It's not really crab in the bucket, narcissistic kind of competitive thing. It's more of like everyone moving as a unit, and it's when you're involved in that, it's amazing. It's a really good feeling, and so I wouldn't say with acting, no, I never really had like that kind of a mentality. To me, power is in numbers. It's like
true.
there's a lot of times where there's been things where I'll see it and it's revealed to me, and I'm like, yeah, that's really not me. But you know what? I know somebody,
That's
let them,
awesome.
and then vice versa, and it works like that. So
it's good.
That's a unique mentality to have in such an industry that requires a level of cunning, I guess, to be successful. Because you're right, it's business first, friends later, if that ever happens. So,
Right.
so basically, what you're saying is that football has allowed you to have a more mature approach to this industry because you have to have a thick skin to survive.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's talking also about a very holistic view where he sees where,
Holistic.
well, I like, I have a big vocabulary. A very holistic view where he sees where he can fit in and in
Yes.
places where you see other people
Yes,
possibly
very much
prospering.
so.
Good karma.
Very much
That's
so.
Yeah, no,
excellent.
Very much so. Yeah.
And we
yeah.
applaud you, Redaric Williams. No, but okay, so you told us about going to New York after you left school and you studied theater. Can you
I
tell
did.
us how your theater background and your theater training kind of helped develop your chops for working in soaps?
Oh, it was a big factor. I didn't even realize it until I kind of got in and started, the more, because soaps are so fast paced. I mean, it's extremely fast. Theater, you get a little more time with the script to kind of play around with it and do your thing. But as far as like, I mean, you gotta be there and be present. You gotta let stuff go. My term is water under the bridge. It's like you do it, water under the bridge, let it go. Because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and that's kind of like my flaw. But I think doing soaps as an actor, it's an arena that you will be polished. I don't whatever you're lacking, it's there for you in soaps because it not only does it move fast, you get the material quick. We do everything for the most part in one take, but then it's filmed, and it's not just filmed; it's filmed in front of a large
speaking
audience. So
audience, yeah.
you're getting every aspect of acting in there. And for me, my problem, I would say my thing that I needed to strengthen was the fact that I'm a perfectionist. I like things to be a certain way, a specific way. So I think I'm a method actor by nature. So when I went to New York, I was like, I kind of got that down. So I did a lot of Meisner. I wanted to do theater. I wanted to kind of like get other notches in my belt. And as far as doing soaps, that's really helped because when you get on, it flies, it goes, and it's like you got to be there, do it, it's done, you
In the
know.
moment,
And
yeah.
yeah, there's more of a kind of a in the moment, aspect to that. So theater, doing a lot of theater in New York, definitely transitioned. And the training that I did in New York definitely helped out coming on with
Excellent.
soaps. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's interesting. Like, and because I guess most people, didn't know that. So I didn't know. I didn't know that soaps were just one take and then
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's
So, because like, if you mess up, then what happens?
if
Is there a
You're
second
fired.
take or?
yeah, fine. I mean, the mistakes do happen,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you're expected not to. You're expected to show up. We do one rehearsal, one take. That's it.
Wow.
A lot of times there's like a technical issue. Maybe something happened with the camera. Maybe there was, some kind of prop thing was wrong. So they'll do another take. If you like just blatantly mess up your lines, obviously they're gonna have to do another take. But that rarely happens because of the fact that everyone knows they know like what's going on.
Yeah.
You come prepared. Like
Yeah.
you get a script, and a lot of the work is not done when you're there. It's done away from the job. You're doing your work. You're memorizing your lines first, then you're doing your process. What you're doing. So when you show up, that should not even be an issue. It does happen though. Everyone has the kind of bleeps and glitches, but
Yeah.
for the most part, that doesn't happen. But if something happens to where it's like like a stuttering or a wrong pronunciation of a word, they'll steamroll through it.
Right through it.
Keep going, and it
Wow.
freaks you out at first. But it's like that's the nature of that beast. They really they film a lot. They crank out a lot. It's a very productive, very efficient set. I've got that. I'm in amazement. I just watch like everything just moves like one big unit. It's just this huge, massive machine, and it's good to be a part of.
Excellent.
Legend, Young and the Rest is legendary. We did our research on you. We're kind of stalkerish here at BHL. And a little birdie said that you were hesitant to pursue a modeling career. Now, what made you shy away from that?
I was. It's just not my MO.
Yeah.
The whole standing in front of the camera, taking pictures. That was never my thing. But in moving to New York, that was my, launching point for what I'm trying to do. That it was kind of inevitable because New York is fashion. It's theater and it's fashion. It's
Right.
a lot of that. So I was constantly, not to be like whatever, but a lot of people were approaching me, the modeling thing, and then I finally went ahead and I think it was my sister, my twin sister, told me, she's like, you should do modeling because it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're trying to do with the acting. And when she said that, I was like, let me go ahead and just listen to her, maybe try it out a little bit. And she was right. There was a lot of things that kind of helped out as far as what I'm doing with acting because I got to travel a lot, and then I started doing, commercial. Because the thing is, when you travel, there's something that goes on. There's a level of learning that takes place that you don't get in any book or any documentary you're watching or any conversation you're having. There's something that goes on. I can't pinpoint it, but when you travel, it's a very useful tool to develop yourself. And when you're pursuing acting, it's an exploration of yourself and a lot of things. So traveling was good. Also, like I said, a lot of the commercial work that came along with that. I got a lot of quality footage. I got a lot of good stuff that was put online that kind of made me a little bit more appealing, I think, as an actor. From like a starting point. But it's very different. I would say it's very different. But yeah, that's why I was reluctant because that's not really my lane. But I would say ignorant to what that industry is about when I first came on because I thought it was kind of like a not a very productive field. It was kind of like people standing around taking pictures, but there's a lot of creative, a lot of I have a lot of respect for the modeling industry. There's so many like talented people in that industry. My eyes were open to that. So once I got in and started doing that, I had no reservations. It was all downhill after that.
Excellent. That's actually fascinating. So I opened the show with kind of teasing Redaric about how stunningly beautiful he is. So actually, about Holly Berry, this is kind of a real issue. When she first started out, she would talk about how difficult it was going out audition after audition and being told she was too beautiful, right?
Every week. I mean, I go through that daily.
Yeah, I know, Jason, and we're in counseling with you about
Yeah,
that.
and I
But,
retained you for your small retainer as well.
no, but seriously, Redaric, do you have a concern, or does that ever cross your mind that you enter a room and you look the way you look, and it's a perception that maybe you can't handle something meatier or more gritty because you are just very beautiful? I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say that. Okay.
No, I've never I never really had any thoughts about that. It is true though, because the thing is with acting is they know what they're looking for as far as like there's a character that's being developed
Right.
long before you
Before
get
you
there.
enter the room.
As
Yeah.
an actor, you're like the back end, the last bit of the process. But I mean, there's a writing that goes on. There's a lot of things that happen, and then you're there to kind of like give a physical, lifelike representation of what's been created. So a lot of times, yeah, I would say maybe they're not looking for that. Like I think it's getting different nowadays, and it also depends on, what type of production or what you're involved with. But I don't know. There's a lot of times that I don't think it matters. I think
Right.
I think it doesn't. Um, there's been things where I hate to say this, but like I've watched.
Okay, we don't judge you here. It's fine.
No, it's
Just
not
own
even.
it,
It's not even
Redaric.
about judging me.
Nothing but love, man.
I don't want to like throw stuff out there like say names or say whatever. But
Right.
like I've watched things and I'm like, that would maybe be better with people that looked a little bit different.
Got it.
I
Right.
hate to say it like that, but like forget I was about to curse. I curse a lot. Let me stop. But
Well, you're from Detroit. We expect that.
okay,
I'm
so I'll
kidding,
just
I'm
lay it out there
kidding.
to give one example. But much props to everyone that was involved in that. But like Silver Lining Playbook,
Right.
for instance.
Okay.
Right.
Very beautiful people portraying these characters, and
Yes.
when I watched that, I thought maybe it would be a little bit more of an impact. You'd feel a little more if the people weren't so
Distractingly
Right, it's
almost
distractingly attractive.
attractive.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
yes.
but like I said, it depends, and sometimes it doesn't matter. So, but
Yeah.
it's something I've personally never thought of. I've never had a thing where I'm like, oh god, this is a situation, because I really don't see myself like that. To be honest, I'm
Interesting.
I'm my worst critic. Like like the picture where the little cat's looking in the mirror and he sees like a lion. I'm like the opposite of that. Like whatever I am, I see I see the flaws. I see the things. I'm a perfectionist, so I don't really view myself like that. I don't think like, oh, I'm too attractive for this. It's like no,
Like I would never go
not
up
at
to a
all.
role. I'm way too good looking for that role.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's
not right.
endearing. That's endearing.
So
Redaric.
humble.
He's so humble.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. No, but you spoke about traveling, and I thought that was an excellent point in
Mm.
the experience that kind of taught you through modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So we read that you were in South Africa, right? When
Yes.
you got the call about the interest of Young and the Restless.
Yes, yeah, I was in Cape Town. I was doing a lot of filmed auditions at the time. I did some filmed auditions for a few other shows, and then that was Young and the Restless one of them. And then it was I'd been to Cape Town a few times. My agency is for modeling and commercial work was over there. So my first day there was for a few months, and I would go on a lot of different auditions. And it got to the point where I'd be in Toronto, I'd be wherever, and I would get an email, basically saying so and so wants to work with you. I want to do like 3 or 4 commercials. Just fly over, So it was one of those days where I went over there, and it was like a beer commercial. I did like 3 commercials, and then I actually did an indie film, and then I was just hanging out because I love South Africa. It's an amazing
awesome,
place,
yeah.
awesome people. Made so many friends over there. And yeah, then my manager sent me an email. She was like, "Gotta come back to New York," because she's amazing, by the way. She has this like thing. She's been in the business for a while,
Great.
but she was like, "I'm feeling it. I'm getting the little cues and verbiage via email that I think they're gonna ask you to come out to do a screening. So you might want to get back and be ready." So I was like, "Oh, okay. What is this for?" She's like, "It's for Y&R." She said, "It's out in California." So I was like, "All right." So I flew back, and sure enough, like 2 days later, I was in New York. Not even 2 days.
Wow.
And then she's like, "Yep, you gotta go to LA." So I went out. Came out here, did a screening, and before I even left, I was here for like a day. And actually, I left out of the audition, and my manager called me, and she was like, they said there's no need to do a second, Yeah, she's like,
Wow.
it's good, they want you. So
Nice.
she's like, fly back to New York, pack your stuff,
Pack your ish.
empty your
Pack it
apartment.
up.
Yeah, because
Right.
it's a long-term contract. So she's like, pack your stuff. And so I moved out here. So yeah, I went back to New York. I was there for maybe a week or 2. That was when the hurricane was going on.
Sandy.
Yeah, it was pretty
Wow.
bad. So it was weird when I got out here. It was kind of like bittersweet feelings. I was out here, it's beautiful weather, nice, it's a new job and everything.
You had Sandy guilt.
And
yeah,
because I had my phone was
understand.
constantly going off with like friends that are like,
Right.
look at this, they're taking pictures, all this
Oh,
crazy
that is
stuff.
sad, yeah.
And I was like, wow, like everybody was dealing with that. A lot of people I knew, and I'm, basically I bit
And
the
you were
bullet.
like, look at my view. Boo.
know.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Mojitos by the pool, palm trees.
But
rude.
I
water's clean out
I dodged the bullet with that one because I
Yeah.
got out of there right. Like my flight was actually canceled out of New York because of the hurricane, so I had to go down to Boston. I think it was. Was it Boston? Where did I fly? I think it was Boston.
Right.
Not Boston. That's
Chicago, maybe?
What was it? What was it? I don't even know. It was so yeah. I'm bad with that. I get the cities. I get scrambled up. But I had to go out of New York and fly out from another city, and then I came out here to LA. So
Very cool.
yep,
So what
and
goes through your mind, Reddy? I'm just trying to play this. You're in South Africa 1 minute, then you're in New York, then they're like, come to LA,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
it's
it's
all
like,
over.
oh, no second edition. You got it in the bag. What's going through your mind?
For me, because I'm a bit of a Rolling Stone. I've kind of embraced that. I've been like that since I was a kid. You know, I was born by a river. I've been running ever since. And that's my
He's an
mentality.
old soul, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. I like it.
And when I got it, it was kind of I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a like reservation. I had a little bit of like, I don't know. You know, it was like
Right.
because it's a long contract. It's
Yeah.
like for a
Right.
few
So
years.
3 years, right?
Yeah, and I it was kind of like a different feeling because I'm used to being like able to just pick up, go. You know, if there's a job opportunity here, I'm like, oh, go over there, man, go here, fly wherever, go wherever. So I'm like, I'm gonna be here,
It's
you know,
commitment.
living
Commitment.
here, going to work,
Yeah.
and
Right.
it's a job.
The
job.
jobby
You
job.
get there
You better work
early.
and-
Sometimes
Yeah.
you're there late.
What
you
time
know,
do you get to
it's
set normally?
It depends on what you're filming that day, but I've been there as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. You
And
know,
that's like
leaving at 9
camera
o'clock at
ready,
night.
yeah.
Can't. Well, you know, they give you some time. You get
Okay.
there. You know, they do the whole spiel that they got going on with the, you know, there's different stuff that you set up in your room, and then there's a process they go through, and then we're on set like maybe 8 o'clock, and we start filming. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff that goes preparation, you know, beforehand. So, but yeah, about 6 o'clock is the earliest, and then been there late. But it's definitely you know it's like a you know like a weekly. It's not like where you're in the industry and you're like, you know, you film a project or you do something and then you're kind of chilling and relaxing for a while,
Right.
and then you're like, oh, let me see what else is out there, put the feelers out. It's not like that. Like you got to be there. You're getting sent material. You're doing stuff you're preparing for the
yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot. But I love it though, so it's good.
It's cool.
No, Y&R is an institution
Yes.
in a lot of black families. Mine, especially. I mean, the show has a rich history with some iconic black characters: Victoria Roll, Shamar Moore, Tanya Lee Williams, Christoph St. John. Have you spoken to any of these amazing actors and gotten feedback and advice from them?
I work with Christoph.
Right.
He's one of my I don't even got a word
He's
for
your
that.
ace.
Mentor?
Man, there you go. It's something along that line. That guy is amazing. I mean, to watch someone, he was one of the recognizable faces when I came on, you know, set. And I was like, oh, I've seen this guy before. But to do scenes with him, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
He literally will force you to be in that moment, in that scene. Like he has this, you know, a presence about him. But he's one of the guys where when I got there, I was like, let me figure out early on, let me see how this thing works. And I kind of watched how he works and his little techniques and stuff. He's really, really good at what he does. Really good at what he does. And it's he has a fine balance, I would say, like left brain, right brain thing going on, where he's a goofball, he's a clown, he's very natural, but he's very professional and he's
Right.
very persistent and concise, and he knows what he's doing, you know. So it's good to work with people like that.
Has he given you like any tips that like, you know, like this is all you got to do when you're
Oh
going?
yeah, he can, but I can't tell you because I have to kill you.
You're not in that circle yet.
Like, 'cause I just want to know something that he said, because he's actually coming in later on today.
Is he? Yeah, I thought he was gonna be here at the same time. I don't. There's nothing like it's some things are I guess like circumstantial. You know, if you're in a certain circumstance, and he'll have the answer for that. He's a very natural actor in that aspect, to where he's not going to be rattled or surprised. Whatever happens, he's gonna adapt to it.
Yeah.
And if you're there, you know, it's kind of like if you're in battle or something. He'd be like the commander who's like, okay, this is what we're dealing with. This is what you need to do.
His
So,
instincts.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
instincts are great.
It's more of
Yeah.
that. It's a lot of that goes on. Yeah.
That's awesome.
to
Well,
work with.
you know, like Jason said, it's certainly an institution, The Young and the Restless. Can I just have a show of hands of who caught a spanking behind something directly or indirectly involving The Young and the Restless? Oh, that's just me. Okay.
That sounds kind of kinky.
That's
I was
just
like,
me.
whoa.
Right. That's just me. No,
Young and
no.
Restless, huh?
No. Like when my mom had a single parent, and when she would go to work, if I didn't put the tape in the VCR to tape Young and the Restless, it was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So no, that's amazing. Did you have any feelings like of what that kind of represents in communities, particularly black communities, like you being on this show?
I did not until, like I said, lot of the stuff for me, I was not a big follower of soaps before coming on for the job, but a lot of the stuff has been unveiled since I've been
Right.
doing it. I'm starting to realize how big of a deal it is, and how iconic it is. So no, I would say no, but yeah, I'm learning that
Quickly,
Yeah,
right?
very quickly. Yeah, I'm learning that.
What did your parents say like when you found out when they found out that you got the role?
It was just congratulations. The happy. There was nothing like specific. More my sisters. I think my sister, because one of my sisters is a really really big fan of the show. My sister
Okay,
Leela,
so
she's a really big fan. She's the one who kind of prepped me for a lot of stuff that she's like, okay, you're gonna need to know this and this character's this,
Storylines,
and so and so is
yeah.
like this, yeah. So yeah, she was pretty excited about it. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a little break here. We're going to play a game with you, Redaric. It's going to be
Uh-huh.
fun. Okay,
Game?
so this is your pick. So I'm going to give you two options and
Oh, yeah.
just
Okay.
first thing come to your mind. Beyonce or Rihanna?
You can't do that to me.
Yes, I can.
Come on.
I just did it.
You can't do
Bam!
that.
Right out
That's
the gate.
not even. Oh, you got to pay homage to those who come before. I would say Beyonce.
Okay.
I'm at that. I agree. Boom. I approve. All right.
I love Rihanna though. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Cover
Beyonce
your
it
tracks.
is.
It's
Okay.
okay. Lakers or Clippers?
I'm not really too much of a sports fan anymore. I'm really not. I think I'm like the dying breed of guys that are not sports fans. 'Cause especially I played sports my entire life.
Right.
I guess the Lakers because they have like a deeper imprint in my psyche.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. All right.
Okay, I'm a coffee aficionado, so out
What is-
here
what is that?
in LA, I drink a lot of coffee. Just
Oh, God, that we're talking
He's
about sports.
fancy.
yeah,
No, he's
yeah,
fancy.
yeah. I use big words. I try to use a couple big words.
Right, you
to-
know.
yeah.
He's bilingual.
Starbucks or Coffee Bean?
I'm really not a big coffee. What was the word you used there?
Aficionado.
Aficionado. Yeah, I'm not really. See, I'm gonna go the reverse with this one. Even though I said the Lakers before because they had like more of a presence there. Starbucks is definitely more of a commercialized, I would say the other one, the Coffee Bean.
Coffee Bean.
Let me put you on blast about something. McDonald's iced coffee. Get into it. Okay.
I've heard that. I've heard.
Okay.
I actually saw a survey. They said McDonald's has the best coffee.
They're taking over, man.
Yeah. I don't think anything beats just like home brewed coffee though.
Folgers. Folgers in your cup.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Best part of
Yeah,
waking up.
best part of waking up. Second best part,
They
but
get-
I'm not gonna.
All right, kind sir. All right. Leading us to the next one. Favorite place to party, Vegas or Miami?
Oh, you know what? That's kind of that's not a tough one. I would say Miami, hands down.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miami's got to be Miami. Oddly enough, I've partied more in Vegas than I have in Miami, but Miami.
Better time.
Miami.
Hotter women.
Quality,
Hollywood- it's
quality
fine.
always over
Yeah.
quantity every time. Yeah.
right,
Miami.
100%.
All right.
All right. Cool. So I'm a huge shopper. I spend money I don't have daily. Designer jeans or sneakers?
Designer. What is
Like True Religions or sneakers, like Nikes. What would you spend your money on?
Jordans or-
What would I spend my money? I'm a bit of a. I'm kind of. I don't like spending money. At
Cheap.
all. Yeah. It's weird. Like I will buy top line, top rack, best stuff if I'm getting it for somebody else.
Right.
But for me, I don't.
You be Marshalls. You a
No.
fashionista,
If
huh?
I see something that's like a good price, I'm like, okay, maybe all right, I'll get that. That's a good bang for my buck. But
That's a
I
good
don't
time.
like to spend money on myself, and I don't like when people spend a lot of money. I remember the girl I was dating a long time ago. She got like a very expensive pair of jeans for like $500 or something,
Whoa.
and not in a rude way. I was like, you gotta take those back. I just can't even wear them. They're fucking $500. I keep I can't do it. I wear like $20 Levi's that I'll find for good.
It lasts forever.
Yeah, exactly. They're better quality too.
There you go, okay.
Yeah, so I would say neither. Yeah.
Well, now I have to
I'm a
ask,
clearance
though,
rack guy. I
what-
listen to my mother.
I
when was
got to
a kid.
ask you, though, now I'm curious, Reddick.
What's
What's the last thing you did spend? Like, what was your
Yeah.
last indulgence? I got something.
My last
Car,
indulgence?
come on, something.
No,
A technological, like a smartphone.
it was funny. I got this nice little touch screen desktop
Okay.
computer thing. It was
Okay.
like $1,000 plus. It was more than I thought. It was
Whoa.
but this is the thing. I took it back. I was like, after I tinkered around with it, I was like, is this worth more? I took it back. I took it back. I don't know. I guess maybe my place where I live. I like my pad. Yeah,
right.
it's and I went above what I said that I would spend when I moved out
Splurge, a
here.
bit of a
Yeah,
real
when I
estate
moved out,
splurge.
yeah, I was
All
like,
right.
I'm not gonna do that. But when I got here, I was like, I really like this one. I got to do it. So
Nice.
yeah.
When
Well,
you
you've
gotta have
earned it. Very nice. Very nice.
Now, I am an avid Droid user.
Bam, me
so
too.
I know I did
And
it
that's why
again.
we don't get along.
But iPhone or Android?
Neither Windows Phone.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm totally
Whoa.
off the grid, my man. I'm
That's
telling
They're
you.
amazing though.
Yeah, they are.
They
Really
work
good.
so well. The maps talk to
Yep,
you. It's
yep,
like life changing.
Yeah, it is. I've been trying to tell people they don't want to listen to me though, so I'm just staying in
HTC
my
or Samsung.
HTC.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so this one's a little, I had a hard time with this question because I felt like some people just don't know how to answer this correctly. But I'm gonna ask it anyways because as journalists, that's what our job is to do.
Yeah.
Boobs or booty?
Booty. That's not even a hard
Oh.
question. What are you what?
Big with it.
Not even that's not even that's
No,
yeah.
no brainer.
That was a
Okay.
no-brainer. I didn't even think about it. I just heard you saying it. No, yeah, definitely booty.
He's a booty man, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, last one. Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas.
I
Definitely
knew I
Nas.
liked you.
No Eminem? Huh?
Eminem's. I got. He's. Yeah. But
I stood out
But
because
Nas.
Nas.
Definitely Nas.
That
definitely
gritty
Nas.
rap,
Okay.
right? That
Well,
gritty.
no, he
It's
tells
the
stories.
conscious rap.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
conscious in his way. He's less of a businessman. I respect Jay-Z's business savvy, by all means, I do. But as rap music, what I want to listen to, Nas, definitely Nas.
There you go. So Rhetoric, the name, is it a play on your skin tone? That's why they call you. You went with the name Rhetoric.
Well, actually, I used to do music years ago, and I was fishing for a handle, and I wanted to incorporate Red because Red was a nickname that was given to me wherever I go. People that's because of my skin tone. It was Red. And at first, it was like, there's like Detroit Red, which is Malcolm X's nickname. I'm from Detroit, whatever. But no, I like Greek words. I kind of have affinity for Greek words. When I was playing sports, I realized that Nike is a Greek word that means goddess of victory, and I thought that was kind of cool and relevant. So I started looking at Greek words, and I came across the word rhetoric, and it's used in the political arena a lot. Positive,
Yes.
negative
Yeah.
rhetoric, and the
Yes.
word is basically the art of language to like
Right.
persuade an audience or convey a message to an audience to get an audience to kind of like sway or feel a certain way. And I was like, that is very, very relevant as an entertainer. It's actually, if you look up the word actor, rhetoric is one of the words.
Right.
So I took that word, loved that word, used that word, and just changed it, and I put the red in it, so it's Redaric.
Gotcha.
So if anyone is online, Redaric, rhetoric. That's
Yes.
So I use that. That's my professional name.
Glad you didn't use the word oikos. For
is
the yoga. You're into Greek.
Jason, I can't stand you. straight up. Wow. He just took us so deep, and then you just like brought us way back up.
You need a balance. You need a balance.
I'm gonna need a dictionary after the end of the show to look up all these words.
All the
that
words we've
are
used
flying
right here.
around right now.
Okay, so you're doing a soap right now. You've done theater. We know you'll go on to do many other different genres of acting. Specifically about the soap genre, though, do you find it more challenging than theater?
I wouldn't say that's tough because theater is very, very tough. It's different, but I would say if you're not prepared, definitely so. For those that are thinking about or have opportunities that are in front of them to do soaps, come prepared, be prepared, prepare yourself, and stay prepared. Theater is a thing where you get more preparation, but they're both equally tough. But I would say soaps are just unrelentless. It's like there's because like I said, and if you go to a theater, like when's the last time you saw someone's theater performance? You don't. It's not going to be filmed. It's not going to be nationally televised or worldwide televised. There's people in France, people in Australia, people in Canada, people all over the world. They'll go online, they can see it, they can watch it. It's televised. It's but it has that theatrical element where you get out there and you do it. It's not a it's not a thing where you're finding you're there, do it. Come on, let's go. Boom, next scene, let's go. So that's Yeah, but they're both tough. But I would say soaps.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be the answer. So soaps are a little bit tougher because they have more going on. There's a lot more going on. It's a little bit more complex. Yeah. Like I said, not to take anything away from theater.
Yeah. I'm sure they have their own unique challenges, right? But I could see why
They
it's
do,
soap.
yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Now you got to work with some wonderful people, including like Glenn Close. So are there any people who are on your bucket list, I would say, that you're like, I have to work with this person before I retire from acting?
There's nobody that I would say I would have to work with. I mean, I'm pretty, like, you know what? I would say, uh, I don't. There's a lot that I would love to work with, but yeah, I don't think there's anybody that I would necessarily have to work with that I would, like have on a bucket list or anything like that. I mean, obviously you got like the Denzels or the
Yeah.
Pacinos, the
Right.
guys like that, where you feel like, yeah. It was cool. I got a chance actually to work with Tony Todd recently, who's the Candyman.
Candyman, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And I like stuff like that, where it's kind of like, where you kind of have like a personal thing with it. Because I mean, the Candyman, when I was a kid, I used to watch. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I still won't say it. I won't do it.
Yeah.
No. I'm almost 30 years old and I won't do it.
And
No.
he's such a cool guy too, by the way.
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy. But no, yeah. I don't know. I guess Denzel, man. If I ever found myself on set.
Yeah.
And like Denzel's there, I'd be like, that's yeah, that'd be a cool thing. I remember when I was playing football years ago. His son was actually like his son plays football.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
playing
I
football.
met him. I met him when I was in college. Like I wouldn't say like it was kind of like a brief introduction. Yeah, but if I ever got a chance to work with Denzel, yeah, he'd be the one.
How about dream actress co-stars?
Actress co-stars. This is tough because I don't like putting people on. Like I don't like to pinpoint stuff like that. Let me sure. I feel like the clock's ticking behind me.
He's like,
No,
dude.
I want to act as Precious.
I know, there you
There we
go. I was
go.
waiting.
Perfect. Thank you for
Somebody's
that.
on it. Somebody's on their
Someone's
toes.
on it. Yeah.
Somebody's on it. Okay. Halle Berry. I'd
Yeah,
say
why
Halle
not?
Berry.
Why
Why
not?
not?
Who
Why
doesn't
not?
want to work with Halle
Why
Berry,
not?
right?
Why not? Why
Yeah,
not? Halle
yeah.
Berry.
Right.
She's amazing. I think a lot of stuff that Halle Berry has done that kind of, I think a lot of it goes unnoticed. Like people get praised for things that are kind of like cliche or whatever, like but she has a very, very well-rounded body of work, and she's definitely an actress who if I saw myself, like I said, on set working with her, I'd be like, yeah, this is
But
Yeah.
she's also done some stuff that has been noticed.
Like the Flintstones movie, great stuff.
And
I was talking
and-
about movies.
No,
I was
I'm
talking about
not
just
saying
her-
I'm not saying she hasn't done anything that hasn't been noticed by all
No, I
means.
think he's talking
No,
about like
no, I
things
mean,
we lost in the
like-
fire and
Yeah,
things like this.
oh yeah,
projects
yeah,
that
like
are more
underrated.
losing
underrated.
Like-
Isaiah.
Oh,
If you watch,
fantastic.
I mean,
Yeah.
God, like you
Yeah, no,
can't
she's-
deny that is a extraordinary, like she's
She
a
went
very,
there. She
she's
went
a
there,
very
yeah.
talented,
Yeah,
very
for sure.
talented woman. So, when you're working with someone and you, like I said, it's kind of the camaraderie thing, like like the team sports, whatever. When you, it's like any chain is only as good as its weakest link, I guess you would say. So
Totally.
you want to be that weakest link because then you know you're part of a
You're absorbing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's an amazing actress. Yeah.
So okay, in your downtime, you are a human being. You do sleep. You do other things besides act. What are you currently watching on TV? And when you're watching these shows, do you see other roles that inspire you as an actor?
I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV. I don't.
What kind of monster?
Yeah.
Thespian.
I don't watch TV. I go online a lot. I watch a little bit of Hulu every now and again.
That's the
Watch some-
same thing.
I mean, kinda. I watch a couple talk shows and stuff, but I watch a lot of documentaries.
Yeah.
I don't really have like a regular regimen of like TV shows that I follow.
So you're not hooked onto anything.
Not at all.
No.
No, on or off TV.
Do you think that helps you stay fresh and original in your whole approach to acting?
Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes, like you said, that things do inspire you and things do help. But me, I know that I get so much script that I find myself just reading scripts
Yeah.
a
Over
lot.
and
Just
over,
reading. Yeah, so it's a lot. But no, no TV.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, as you are building your career and you're amassing all these experience, what are some of the things you want people to know about you and your body of work?
Things that I want people to know. I just want people to know me. That's it. Just know who I am, where to find me, what my name is, who I am. That's pretty much it. Yeah. There's nothing that I specifically want people to know. I guess maybe to know that I am a serious actor and I do take what I do serious. and yeah, that's about it.
That's
So.
that's important.
Yeah, no, because a lot of people they'll maybe like shuffle you in a certain category immediately, but it's
Right.
like that there's much more. There's much more to, like you might be given a certain opportunity, but I mean that doesn't say anything to the things that you're able to do or the things that you aspire to do. So
Gotcha.
just yeah, that'd be it. People just know who I am beyond the whole acting thing. It's in what I could possibly bring to something that they would like to see.
That's awesome. Well, speaking to you today, it's prevalent and very obvious that you're more than just an actor. That you are also a highly intelligent and very self-actualized individual. Because
Yeah.
there's so much talent out here in the industry of people who are just transient. Oh, I'm an actress, I'm an actor, but there's nothing underneath the surface. And I think that having more than just a beautiful face,
Yeah.
more than just the exterior, really adds to you as a person and
Yeah.
as a character.
I think maybe with those individuals, it's there. It's always there, but maybe they just don't. They haven't looked at it yet because I've been eating humble pie for a long time.
Clearly.
I've had my fair share of it. So that kind of forces you to see a lot of things about yourself, do a lot of soul
Yeah.
searching. So I think when hardship brings that out, I'm not to like be, the downer, but I've lived a tough life.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of hardship. A lot of people look at me and they'll they immediately think one thing.
So
like,
charmed,
yeah, it's
yeah.
like you have no
Yeah.
idea. You don't
Yeah.
even know. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, now what was, speaking of hardship, what was one of like a roadblock that you've encountered, on
Well,
pursuing this
those are
acting
two
career?
different things. Because to me, I'm just gonna get a little bit more.
It's fine. I don't even mind it. Go
Ladies,
ahead.
no,
Take
take off
that
his
off.
jacket.
Yep.
I would say hardship is different than a roadblock because I think hardship was not a roadblock. It was wind in the sails for me.
Okay.
What I do. Roadblocks would be just financial stuff. Growing up financially, there's a lot of roadblocks because I guess things come, but then that can also be like I said, something that
Another
Character building,
yeah,
character
something that
building,
motivates
yeah.
you, something that gets you to pursue other things, pursue like a pursuit that gives you that
The laser beam focus again, like I'm just getting that total energy from you, Redaric. You just seem to have a very seriousness of purpose. Like Jason was saying, you're an actor, obviously you're talented, but there seems to be an underlying substantive force that's kind of driving it.
Yeah, you're like, what is that? I don't know. What do you?
I
What is
don't-
the? I was looking for the
That's
question.
more of an observation.
Oh,
but,
okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
She's giving
I'm
you your props,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry.
Crazy.
It's okay. Well, now that you're taking the jacket off,
No.
I'm gonna ask you about.
I'm looking for the questions. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. What is your workout regime? Obviously, you're in amazing shape. Like, and has it changed because of Young and the Restless?
It hasn't really changed. It's more so, like just like I would say cardio.
Okay.
I do a lot of cardio. I played sports my whole life, so I've been doing the weights, and I'm naturally like kind of a big guy, so I really don't do a lot of like, protein and muscle and building. I don't do that. So
Supplements and
it's
stuff,
yeah, it's
HGH,
none of
Roids. Yeah.
none of that.
But
none
when you're
of-
an actor, it's okay. You can do the road.
No,
You're
none of
investing
that.
in yourself.
Yeah, you even write it off on your taxes.
No,
It's
you
totally
know what?
fine.
You know what? Though?
Don't worry about it.
For a small
For a
retainer.
small retainer, operative words, Redaric.
What works better than any exercise, any of that is what you actually put in your body. Like
Yes.
eating
Clean
changes
eating.
everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I started modeling because that's when I was obviously in shape, but that you really get put under a microscope when you're doing modeling. You're always got your shirt off, you're doing that, and so it's you want to be as refined as you can. And I noticed that you just change the way you eat. Just you eat certain things and don't eat other things, and that literally it has a quick effect to it. It happens fast. So yeah, just diet, and then cardio. You got to work up a sweat. Work up a good sweat, and you don't have to be in the gym for that. You
Right,
can-
I knew you were going there.
You know,
I already knew it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
already
I
knew
was
it. Yep. Mhm.
All right.
So Boris Kajo was in the studio with us not long ago, and he was, again talking about this transition from modeling to acting. And would you go back to modeling now that you've, really got your feet wet in the acting world,
Would I go back?
or do it in tandem, not necessarily abandon the acting, but would you do it, at the same
Yeah,
time?
I would. I don't think it's something that I'm just like, okay, that's done. and
Done
over with.
chapter.
Yeah, close thing. Yeah, but that's not something I would. I think it would have to be an opportunity. That's presented. I don't think I would pursue much modeling. But there's things in acting that I will definitely pursue that are not being presented to me that I'm going to go after and pursue acting wise. So I think it's more of somebody suggests you should pursue modeling, I'd pursue that, bit off a little bit of that, chewed that up, and it's like if it's there, but I'm not going to pursue it. No.
Got it.
So, but if the opportunity's there, I'm not going to shy away from that or say, oh, I won't do that, or I'm past that. No,
Good for
that would
you.
never happen.
Good for you.
But they're very different things, though. Modeling and acting are completely different. It's something like I feel like modeling you have to be very very self-aware physically.
Right.
It's like there's like a lot of people are successful modeling because they are very aware. They know what angles to use and how to look how to give a certain look with their eyes, and there's a certain thing that you do, and there's a lot of stuff that helps. I feel like all the industries are getting kind of lazy on the back end. I hate to say
Tell
that,
us more.
but
Yeah.
no, like because it's like if you can make other people's jobs easier, you're gonna be
Right.
successful. So it's like for a lot of photographers, they're not gonna like really look for the diamonds in the rough by doing a lot of they want someone that's going to be able to present good photos, and the same thing with production companies, whatever. So I think that's kind of a key to success thing. If anyone's it's like make people's jobs easier, or if you can find ways to make people money, that's it. If you
Absolutely.
know how to make other people money, you're gonna do all right. If you know how to make people's jobs easier, you're gonna do all right. But like I said, with modeling, it's knowing how to be like you have to be aware of yourself physically. Acting, it's the exact opposite. It's more so of ignoring that, and you just get into the body of work, and you don't want to feel like, because I mean everyone knows it's a subconscious thing, but when you're watching something, when someone is like performing something and
Right.
Yeah.
they're trying to do, and when all of a sudden everything shuts off and there's a connection there because they just are doing that, and they're just there, and that's just what's happening, and you're watching it happen. So it's like that's the difference I think with modeling and acting.
Certainly.
Acting is you're not trying to put on a show.
Right.
In a sense, you're kind of just getting into the work and you lose yourself. And
Right.
modeling at all times you're aware, like, okay, I know what this is supposed to, this is gonna
It's
here,
very
so
manufactured, right?
yeah, well, you have to be aware. You have to be more self-aware physically, and I think in acting, it's there, but acting is a little bit. There's more of a process there because then the blocking comes into play too. That's another thing with soaps is that there's a lot of blocking that goes in that, and the script is one thing, memorizing the script, but then you also have to memorize. Okay, when you say a certain thing, that's when you turn this way and walk across the room, and then you say the rest of this, and then then you sit down at this point. There's a lot of blocking things that you have to remember because if you go through and it's like you say that, it's like, oh, 10 minutes you were supposed to go over there. It's it's a lot of that goes on. So
Kind of like a football player or something, right?
It's like choreography.
And we're back to the football. I like it.
I'm just saying because there's some connection
There's some
between soaps
overlap.
and football. Yeah, I'm gonna find
You're gonna find it,
gonna
right?
find it.
Yeah.
You're so serious, Redaric. I mean, on
I
set,
know, yeah,
I know
let's
you're so
listen.
deep. It's like I feel like I've been taking you and Oprah probably could do a whole show that'd be off the hook.
hey, I would love to.
Right.
Are there any hijinks though that you guys play on set that you pull on set? And who's the biggest jokester on set?
Biggest jokester. There's a handful of them.
And they're all it's all the
There's a-
females, huh?
There's a lot, yeah. There's a lot. I'd say the ones that just pop out would be Joshua Morrow. He plays
Oh,
Nick.
yeah,
He's a
yeah,
clown,
yeah.
but it's crazy because he's another guy that really knows what he's doing and he does it well because he can
He's
be
been
a
on
clown.
forever,
Yeah, and he can immediately jump into a dramatic scene and then come out and then be a clown. And you're like, dude, get away from me. So it's like him, Daniel Goddard, who plays Kane on the show. He's the husband of the woman that I'm pursuing on the show.
Scandalous.
So, yeah.
Right.
And Christoph, like I said, Christoph is So there's a lot of that going on because you do need that. I'm right here. I'm answering these questions, but I do have more of a relaxed side.
And you
not-
cuss a
it's-
lot, so I mean you are
It can't be
human.
all bad,
Yeah.
right? No,
Yeah.
that's funny. So you've been on for about 6 months, right, on the show, and
Yeah.
kind of a little bit of a rookie. Did they kind of do any like hazing or like kind of like earn your way onto the family
No.
thing, or was it open arms from day one?
It was open arms from day one,
Awesome.
and it was open arms from everybody. It was weird. Like I couldn't run into someone that was not going out of their way to help out in any kind or even suggestions. And I mean, from the executives in the offices to the actors on the set and everyone in between, everyone was just so like welcoming. So they're everyone. You get the sense that they want you to do good.
That's
They
good.
want you to be successful. They want you. Nobody wants to see you not be at your best, and you get that sense from everybody there. So
That's
it feels like it's like you're being around family. It's literally by far, not just saying this, the best job I've ever had in my life.
Aw.
Wow.
And it because it's the people that you're around.
Yeah.
And it's like I've been around people that are that good. They have that sense of that you get that same feeling. But I've never been around that many at one
Right.
time. It's a huge family. It's a lot of people. That have
Sure.
that vibe. So it's good.
So they're kind of working to make you better
Mm,
as well.
Right.
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Right, that's awesome. And I bet you too, because the soaps, they've had a bit of a difficult time in the last few years. A lot of soaps that we
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah.
So for Young and the Restless, again, paying
Still
homage to
be
their
here.
institution.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's incredible.
Yeah, that's another thing that like I said, I wasn't into the soaps beforehand. I didn't know any of that, and then coming on, I realized like a lot of soaps that was, some of them were getting canceled and different things
Yeah.
would happen. I guess some are popping up online. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that going on. But yeah, definitely.
Young and the Restless is in it to win it.
Well, you knew they were when Mary J sampled Nadia's theme in her song. I mean,
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
have arrived.
I've been hearing it. Even what's the Flow Rider?
Yeah.
He mentions it in one of his songs. Yeah,
Yeah.
you hear it thrown around. It's something that like I knew about the show before it came out. It's an iconic show, but I think if something like that happened with The Young and the Restless, you would know. Okay, that's just soaps altogether, because
Right.
Yes.
that's like almost the last
Last standing.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, so we know that you're in a 3-year contract, and I believe because there was an interview that you had where you said like the first year and a half, you're exclusively tied into Sony and CBS, correct?
Right. I think my manager fought for a little bit of fine writing in there as far as like the exclusivity goes, but I think that is pretty much it for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, so once that,
Because that was one thing she didn't like. I remember that. She was like, "No, you're not
you're
gonna be-
stuck.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way." Yeah. But yeah.
but what roles like would you want to pursue? After you get out of the exclusivity.
Stuff that I could like, just really like become a character. Like stuff like. I feel like Hollywood has a trend right now with the Marvel kind of action hero stuff.
Yes.
It's kind of like that worked, and they saw it worked, and it's like
Yeah.
okay, let's which that's cool. But I like like stuff that like a detective movie where you're like you're finding things.
Procedural
Yeah,
things,
stuff is
procedural drama.
happening. Yeah, stuff like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Heat with
Yes,
De Niro,
Yeah.
Pacino.
Yeah,
Great movie.
Yeah.
something like that, like along those lines. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Would you like to do more TV, maybe some like primetime network stuff? Do you see that kind of being a natural transition? After maybe
I
some
would love
soaps?
to. Yeah, I feel like TV is really coming back in like they had like kind of like a hiatus where it was like different things going on, and maybe there was something going on behind the scenes, but I feel like there's a lot of momentum in TV right now.
Agreed.
It's a good place to be. Yeah, no, I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to that at all.
Agreed. And as a consumer of a lot of television and a lot of movies and film, I love seeing film actors not being afraid to cross over into the television
Oh,
genre
yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
you're
get back
seeing that
on
a
the
lot.
film screen. Yeah, obviously
Yeah,
Kerry
yeah.
Washington,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
an Oscar-nominated film this year, and you're also every Thursday on my television screen.
I wish I would
She-
have thought
that's
Kerry
to-
Washington when you asked me about the female
was
actress.
hoping
I would
you'd said
love
that.
to.
You
Oh,
failed.
no, I did fail. I did fail that one. You can't get an A plus on that. No, yeah. Let me go back to that one. Kerry Washington. Yeah, she's
She's
very-
phenomenal.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right about that with the TV and the film. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That's really enjoyable for us as consumers of you talented people to see you in those different mediums.
Right,
It's
right.
really, really nice. Very cool.
Yeah, we always want to ask the serious, smart questions, but I want to know, who are you listening to? Like, when you hop in your car, do you throw on like Adele?
What's your turn up music, Redaric?
My
Yeah.
turn up music.
Beyonce,
No.
Psy,
What's the word they use out here in Cali? And I was like ratchet or something like that.
Ratchet?
It's like,
Tamar Braxton, you like Tamar?
No, I'm only kidding. I was messed up. No,
Did I tell you I can't stand you today, Jason? I'd like to say that again.
we already talked about Nas. I love Nas. Yeah, I was listening to that just not too long ago. I like Wiz Khalifa, some of the stuff. I actually met Wiz not too long ago. Super cool guy.
Yeah.
Totally down there, totally cool guy. Let me think. Yeah, I'm kind of like I go back to that golden age of hip hop with the stuff like that. The Nas and
Like R&B and Rakim.
I'm really
Like big-
not really big into R&B. I don't really. I know.
You
I'm
know,
so-
dude, strike three.
I got some R&B. I got like a playlist. But I couldn't tell you who it is. It's like I use that for different.
Brad, I say you're probably
Certain
not listening to the
situations.
music.
It's like,
Oh,
But
You know
I got a
Redaric.
folder. I got a folder. Of some music that
I was on your team, man. Now I'm jumping
No,
ship.
there's some good R&B
alright.
music out there. There's really good. There's actually an artist. She's fairly. I wouldn't say she's new. She's probably been around for a while, but she's starting to get a little bit of notoriety. Lana Del Rey.
Yes.
Is really good.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard some of her
Yeah.
music not so long ago. She's really good.
very eclectic
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Great
Yeah.
Gatsby soundtrack. You've heard
Yes,
it.
it was.
Yes.
From,
Epic.
that's what kind of exposed me to it.
Yeah.
Once to see the Great
Right.
Gatsby, but I was tinkering around online, looking that up, and then I came across some of the music, and I was like, oh,
Got
this is
into
really,
it. Good
really
stuff.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
amazing.
Well, Reddick, we really can't thank you enough for joining us. Excellent getting to know you. You're a very multifaceted man, and certainly more than meets the eye. So, again, Nick Perdue, Jason Carter, Ebony K. Williams signing off. This is
Signing
Black
off.
Hollywood Next. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
You
you
guys.
guys for having me so much. I appreciate it.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.